Hello and welcome to another episode of Business Sense. I'm Ralph Rivas. For today's episode, we have Anthony Nang, CEO of North Star Meat Merchants. North Star, of course, just filed their IPO. Now we're going to get into the details of that IPO with Anthony. Anthony, thanks so much for joining us on the show. Now, I've
Thank you for
heard.
having us.
Now, Anthony, this company started off as a thesis. So not a lot of people can, bring their thesis into reality, let alone have an IPO decades later. So tell us about that.
So yung thesis natin, sir, it's a program, no, dun sa college natin sa UANP. And the condition for us to graduate sa entrepreneurial management in lieu of a thesis, no, was to have a business that earns an actual business that was running. So the business we well actually put up at that time was a meat shop. So yun po yung nangyari. And then, 23 years later, here we are. So that's how it started. No? You can't graduate without a business. You cannot graduate without a business which was earning money. And that was around, you have to earn at least around 20,000 a month, no? Something to that effect.
Now, now with this, of course, now it grew into a huge company, teaming up now with bigger conglomerates like SM. So more about that partnership.
So when SM was in Iloilo before, they I think bought out the partners that they had, no, sa Iloilo. And then they were looking for new suppliers. Doon po kami pumasok, no. They got us, well, they reached out to us kasi back then my family had a farm there, so we supplied. And then that one meat shop in Iloilo, that's where it all started. So doon ko na learn yung mag-start na meat shop. And then we got into SM, two outlets siya, Haro and the one in Mandurriao. And then moving forward, sabi ko, why don't we try doing Manila also? So I asked the vice president now, no, that time, the manager doon sa Iloilo to set me up kung kindly an appointment sa Manila if we could also supply here. And that's how it happened. So I went here, I got that appointment, went to Manila, introduced myself doon sa SM Group. And then, fortunately, at that time naman, they had a supplier that, let's just say na parang ano, they were easing out. So they brought me in and then, yun, dun start yung relationship. And then through the years na from a branded meat concession there, we slowly transitioned into their house brand, which is SM Bonus. And that's what we've been doing for the past 2 decades.
Mm. Now, what would you consider to be the most challenging in starting off North Star?
Siguro, sir, as with any entrepreneur, the first challenge you have is, honestly, no, capital. Any entrepreneur, you start with almost nothing. Eh. That's one of the challenges, access to capital. Secondly, yung mastering the craft or the business itself. Because when you're starting a business, obviously you have to be there. You're still learning, and then you're still parang navigating through all of this, no. So yun po, parang yung knowledge mismo ng business hindi pa ganun ka concrete. And so I think those were the two major things there. And then of course, slowly as it was growing, the next challenge now is managing people, no, as with any business naman, managing talents there. And then if you further growing the business now, it becomes about systems now and that. So the next challenge there is to transition yourself from being an entrepreneur, right, to being a more organized, more, parang more managerial na. So it's a change of way of doing things. So ganun po yung progression ng mga naging challenges natin dyan.
Mm. Now, from the humble beginnings, now your sales grew 50% to 9.28 billion in 2021, and then
Yes.
profits of 610.5 million, up by 155.7% over the previous as compared to 2020. Now, pretty impressive
Correct.
amid the pandemic. Now, why the need for an IPO to tap into the capital markets to raise additional funding? I mean, your company grew already impressive figures. Why the need for this IPO?
Well, first, as you mentioned, no, sir, we are working with a conglomerate, a very big one, a very aggressive one, and they will continuously to open, ano, stretch yung kanilang mga store or presence, no, throughout this archipelago of a country that we have. So,
Yung keyword doon is archipelago. There is that logistical challenge. We have to be
capable, we have to be ready and efficient in doing our business. We have to be able to have proper facilities wherever we have clients that we serve around the country. You know? So first, we have to put up those hubs. It's a hybrid of cold storages and pick and pack areas for our frozen food products. No? Next, of course, opening outlets entails a lot of really assets, no, from equipment to reefer trucks to the actual stocks.
so marami no. So we are raising capital to be able to have a war chest no para makasabay doon sa growth ng ating uh, mga clients no ating mga partners.
Mm. And can you discuss more kung saan ba yung current facilities niyo right now and where you plan to expand?
Our current facilities right now is in primarily in Giginto, Bulacan. Yung doon po ang ating main hub. And then we're operating one out of Cebu also and one out of Iloilo. And then we have a few rented ones scattered around the country also. Up north and dito banda sa Bicol. I think we also have some Bacolod and yeah, I think Bacolod we also have, you know, but rented na yung others.
Mm. Now, for the new facilities, ano ba yung mga main considerations ninyo? And what sort of expansion are we talking about? In particular, the proceeds of the IPO.
Well, the criteria is first syempre kung saan maraming uh,
Tao, no? Kung maraming tao, kailangan yung services natin. Where the stores are of our partners or our clients, we have to be there. So of course we have to have store presence, and then of course a good population that we can cater to. Third, also we're looking at
how interconnected logistically the province is. Example, we're looking at Iloilo. You know, they're building the bridge to Guimaras. You know, they're improving the port in Dumangas. Some of these things. No? So
the province becomes more parang strategic, no, in terms of logistics, and those are certain aspects or certain things that we look at. No?
Mm. Now, I think this will be the first time for the PSE to have a pure play on meat. Kasi we have other stocks that have they have fish, they have other agricultural products, but this one is purely pure meat. Now, isn't that a risk for investors? I mean, basically asking them to go into pure play amid rising prices. In particular, this year, inflation is a threat. So, why do you think that North Star is a good bet for investment?
well, siguro sir, most obviously we all eat. So you invest in North Star, you invest on something essential, the most essential of the most essential. So you're betting on food security. You're betting on food sovereignty, right? Um, whatever kind of crisis, as proven, people go back to the basics, no, which is food security. Whatever kind of political crisis, even like you see the war in Ukraine and Russia, where do people flock? The grocery. Balik sa pagkain pa rin, right? Whatever kind of disaster, natural calamity, people will go back to pagkain. So I think that is something very obvious, no? And I hope the investors will see that, no? Especially dun sa results ng numbers namin that coming coming from a pandemic, doon pa tayo lumakas. That is a testament that people will always go back to what is essential, what is fundamental, and that is food. No?
Mhm. Now, Anthony, just push this a little further. Now, I
Sure.
mentioned inflation before, but there's also threats. I mean, agriculture is, there's lots of threats there. Always diseases. For instance, I mean,
Yes.
ASF is still here in the Philippines. We're still struggling to to completely eradicate that. So again, what is North Star doing?
So ayan, what we are doing is to increase our capabilities and capacities. We use our base load to get, of course, the best deals from our local and international partners.
We want to complete our cold chain facilities, no, or cold chain logistics facilities. All of these combined, for example, by maintaining our own fleets of reefer trucks, no, having our own motor pools, having our own pick and pack area and cold storages, no, all of these efficiencies combined enable us to give or sell our products, dispense our products in a much kumbaga better price, no? Mas ano tayo, mas
efficient. So we pass on all of these savings as discounts in terms of pricing to our consumers. And I think that is one of the kumbaga,
prime na advantage ng North Star.
Mm. Now, clarification lang, where do you get your meat pala? Imports or domestic? What's the mix?
we need both.
And of course, the mix will depend on, tulad ng sabi niyo, sir, you have an ASF situation, then we have no choice. You have to get a little bit more of imported than local. Diba? It will always depend. At the end of the day, ang ating pong pinaka-criteria for choosing where and how to buy is the consumers. No? Kasi
It's paramount that we be able to provide the consumers with, first of all, clean yan. Clean, compliant siya, safe, consistent siya dapat. And lastly, dapat affordable siya. So the affordable part is a tricky one. We have to make it affordable to every one of our clients. And we have to be able to offer to the clients yung kanilang preference, be it liempo or pork chop or so it's very complex, the carcass balancing of buying one pork and balancing the market wants more of this cut, more of that cut. So all of these things combined, no, juggled together. That's how we tend to decide on how and where we purchase. And of course, that's also assisted by software na, by technology, no? Meron na tayong science when we do our purchasing.
proactive na tayo mag-purchase, hindi yung parang tatansyahin lang. Wala pong tansyahan sa ganitong klaseng operations. Eh. People should get fresh meat, fresh protein all of the time, every time, consistent quality.
Mm. Now, I guess that's what a lot of people don't realize. Apparently, there's a lot of data science involved when it comes to selling meat, for instance. Now, can you tell us about trends? Some trends in particular. Kailan ba kayo malakas? Which cuts in particular? Which types of meat are more in demand? Particular seasons. Give us a rundown.
So, ang demographic natin sa Philippines, we are a young country and our population is steadily rising, at a very healthy pace. So, a young country, a young demographic wants flavor. So, the flavor, obviously, you want more of that parang medyo may fat, no? Parang magandang klaseng marbling ng fat. And usually, that's already your liempo. Now, also you have those patas, no? In a restaurant, puro pata front yan, crispy pata yan, right? Sisig is another thing. But really, ang napansin namin more often than not really is the liempo is the one, because it's the most flavorful. There's a good mixture of fat and lean meat there. I think ground meat also is very popular because very dynamic ang ground meat. You can use it as sahog, no, for a lot of our ulam. And the Filipino has a very, kumbaga, ang dami nating klaseng ulam, ang dami nating klaseng experimentation when it comes to cooking. So ground meat is also another popular kind of meat cut that we serve.
Mm. Now, going back to my question again on inflation, it's still uncertain yung gas prices, right? So, kayo ba, how affected are your operations in pagdating sa ano? May immediate uptick ba on the prices once oil prices rise?
Well, yes, because to get all of our items to store, you need to use those freezer vans. So immediately your delivery expense goes up, right? Your generators for your planta, they use crudo. So yeah, it goes up. And then, but more importantly, when you purchase also internationally, these are all affected by fuel cost. For example na lang,
Uh, if we buy in a European country or from a European country,
a lot of their energy will come from Russia. So it's affected, no? Ganun siya. A lot of their feed input will come from Russia or Ukraine. Ukraine is one of those countries which produce a lot of feed for Europe. So affected. So ganun po yun. Everything is interconnected talaga. No?
so even sa local farmers natin, yung feed inputs nila aakyat, yung cost of transportation nila aakyat. So in short, the cost of production goes up. Especially when the cost of feed inputs go up. It's that 70% of any farm, no? Feed inputs yan cost 70% of cost of production is feeds.
Mm. Now, you mentioned also earlier that parang pandemic proof basically yung meat sector, right? You even posted significant sales amid the pandemic. Now, with the economy reopening, what does that mean para sa inyong company?
Well, it's a very positive development, no, for everyone. Pero for North Star, of course, we're very excited. Maraming mga stores tayong hindi nag-open on time na halt, no? Of course, nag-wait and see yung situation. So, of course, we will have more stores. Yung mga na-delay, sabay-sabay yan. Sa expansion, that will be tuloy-tuloy. And then, of course, we have the tourism opening up. It's a very important there, no? Market to be able to cater to the hotel, restaurants, catering, all of these. Uh, Convenience stores are again open. You have your BPOs coming back to work na. You have the people going back to their daily routine na, yung actual work on site. So, for example, you have convenience stores serving itong mga rice meals. So we have those clients also yung servicing natin. What we call them toll processing, no? Gumagawa kami behind the scenes ng kanilang mga rice mills, no? So these are very positive naman. And we want to ride on that opening of the economy, the reactivation of the economy.
Mm. So, what's North Star's focus? Business to North Star to consumer or selling?
Ang core talaga natin is to business to consumer. That's why bulk of our sales pa rin you will see is more on our stores, the retail stores. But we are slowly developing also itong mga business to business na transactions by doing this house brand toll manufacturing.
Mm. Mm. So, again, invite our audience and potential investors. Why North Star?
Yeah, so I hope our investors will take a bet, no? Believe in what North Star does. I mean, betting on North Star is betting on food security, betting on food sovereignty. We are the essential of the most essential, and yeah, we're one of those guys who work really hard for sure. I mean, that's 23 years of my thesis. So I mean, I hope that's enough of a testament on how dedicated we are in following through. No?
Mm. Now, again, just a summary of the planned IPO of North Star: 360 million primary shares and 32 million secondary shares, with an over allotment of up to 58 million shares. Shares could go up as at a maximum price of 10 pesos each. But of course, hindi pa final yung ano,
No, no,
may
no,
final
no.
pa.
Depende sa market conditions, no.
Yeah, yeah. And North Star will have a stock symbol of N Star. Funds will be used to accelerate the expansion of the end-to-end cold storage infrastructure and operations. And if all goes well, uh, it will be the shares will be listed on the main board of the Philippine Stock Exchange before the end of the first half of 2022, and the offer period will be this June. Correct?
Yes, correct, correct. Thank you.
Okay. Sige, thanks so much, Anthony Nang, CEO of North Star Meat Merchants, and I'm Ralph Rivas. This has been another episode of Business Sense. Thanks for watching.